everyone, good evening. Tonight I am going to be making some chicken parmesan. Alright, let me run through the ingredients really quickly. Here I have 3 chicken cutlets, which I've placed in a Ziploc bag. And what I've done is, what I do is I use my rolling pin to tenderize. Okay, so I put the cutlets in the bag and I just beat on it. It's that simple. Now I've already done that. Now I'm gonna just remove the chicken, throw my bag away. And let me grab my fork here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and season my chicken now. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is I am going to go in with some salt, some sea salt. Where's the sea salt? Here it is. I always start out with salt. Whenever you're seasoning meat, always put salt first. If the meat does not, if you can't taste the salt in the meat, it's just not enjoyable. So by putting it first, we ensure that the salt, that the flavor of the salt is well absorbed by the meat. All right. Next, I'm going to go in with my black pepper. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit of all-purpose seasoning. This has a little bit of everything, onion powder, garlic powder. I believe it has turmeric in it as well, or cumin. Actually, no, it doesn't have cumin. It doesn't have cumin, but it does have turmeric. Also going to go in with some Italian seasoning. And we're going to season each side. So this is the first side. When I'm done with this, flip it over and do the other side. Also want some oregano. And last but not least, a little bit of cayenne. Let's just do a little dusting of cayenne pepper. Okay. Now, I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing. Rinse and repeat. Ooh, excuse me. Pepper makes me sneeze, you guys. Alright, so go again. Put the salt first. Pepper. And you guys should really get into the habit of learning how to season your meat without measurements. Make your life a whole lot easier. And this is the cayenne. Just a little bit of that. Go in with my oregano. And my Italian seasoning. And a little bit of all-purpose. Alright, I think that's good. What I'm gonna do now is gonna take some olive oil and just sprinkle some of that on there. This is to help the seasonings to stick. Let me just grab my glove here and I'll just massage that into the chicken. Just get everything nice and melted into the meat. Alright, flip that bad boy over. Put a little olive oil on this side as well. Just a little. And just kind of massage the oil onto the meat. Alright, this is looking really good so far. Alright, so as you can see, the meat is thoroughly seasoned. Now, the next step in the process is the batter. So you need a dry batter and a wet batter. My dry batter consists of flour, panko breadcrumbs, and a little bit of each of the seasonings I just used on the chicken. Okay, so it's got a little salt in there, a little black pepper, a little of the oregano, etc., etc. You just want to season the flour so it doesn't taste bland when you bite into the chicken. You know, you don't want all the seasoning to just be on the chicken. You want the batter to also be well seasoned. But, you know, don't put as much seasoning on here as you did on the chicken. You want to just put just a little dusting, a little sprinkling in here, all right? Just so it's not totally bland. And then my wet batter is simply 1 egg, which I've beaten up, and I added just a little bit of milk. Here's the consistency, all right? And I'm basically gonna just take each piece of chicken, dip it in the wet batter, and then coat it with the dry batter. So I'm gonna turn my pan on right now and get my oil nice and hot. Gonna put some olive oil in the pan. Okay, and I sometimes mix my oils, so I'm gonna put a little vegetable oil in there as well. There's no rhyme or reason to that. I just don't want my olive oil to finish too soon. Alright, so that's my way of stretching it. So right now I'm just letting my oil heat up. And while I'm waiting for the oil to get nice and hot, I'm gonna go ahead and start the battering. So take a piece of chicken, submerge it into the wet batter, get it nice and wet, and then we put it in the dry batter. Get one side nicely coated, and then we coat the other side. You may have to grab some of the batter with your hands and spread it around manually, and that's okay. Okay, see that? Nice and coated. Alright, now I'm going to put this in the pan. The pan should be nice and hot right now. And I'll show you what that looks like, okay? So I'm just going to put that in. This first piece. Now I'm going to the second piece. Get it in here in the egg batter. Get the flour in there. the other side. Hold on, let me. Okay. Just have to get the flour more centered into the plate. Alright. This is looking good. Nice and coated. And I may need to add a little more flour to this, so bear with me. Okay, now this piece goes in the pan. And I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna let that fry till it's nice and golden brown, and then I'll take these out and put the last piece in, and we'll continue the process from there.